Hey guys, what's up? Here is today's Smart Money Sundays episode. I'm going to start off on CAD JPY and then go through Euro CAD. So this might be about 10 minutes long. It's not going to be super, super in depth or anything, just because I think that we've done enough of these where you guys get the concepts. I mean, it's by no means going to be cutting corners, but we're just going to go over some basic ideas and give you guys, kind of what we're looking at. So on CAD-JPY, you can see that we are kind of following a trend line right now, to be honest. We have these two trend lines that we're following. So I think that maybe what we can do is just push down throughout the week and then break the bottom trend line just to continue long, because we have this inefficiency here. This is a selling volume for the buying up, and then this is also just a larger selling volume before the larger buying up. So we have all of these orders trapped down here. We have these lows. We have this trend line that I think we're going to, like I said, kind of come down, sweep it, and then continue back up. The least into here, that'd be a logical spot. It could stop here, but I kind of doubt it. I think this is the most reasonable place to take it. So yeah, what I'm saying is get something like this, kind of chop around, come down, and then head up. Now let me change the color on this. So that is what I am seeing on CAD JPY. Now continuing on to AUD USD. AUD USD just came into a level and flew. So this should be good to continue long, to be honest with you, because what we did was we came into that selling candle that I had highlighted on the time frame I was just on, I guess the hourly, and now we pushed into it one more time, dug through it, broke structure, should just pull back and then continue up. With a lot of these dollar pairs, XXX USD, I want them to push up at least a little bit more. Doesn't mean we need to go, long, but I do expect price to at least come into here on AUD. So that is about 50 pips, and it's a 12-hour candle that I'm really looking at. We have this high, these highs taken out with this wick, and then we fell, breaking this structure. So now it would make sense for us to just short off. I think that shorting off is the most logical thing to do. Now, the only thing is we had all of these lows, run out. So then after doing that, we broke this structure here, right here. Then we had lows, ran out with a single candle. So if it does short off from here, first area to take some profits at would be here, because like I said, this ran out a lot of lows. So coming down into here, if we do something like this, which I think is reasonable, we can push up, push up, push up, push up right here, boom, take it down, and then into here. So that is what I'm thinking on AUD USD. Now continuing on to GBP CHF. This looks really good in my opinion. So what we did is we kind of came into the last point of return. We have all of these lows that we just kind of took out. So now we traded below them, right? And we're still maintaining structure to the upside like this. So now I expect to pull back and then continuation up. So what I'm thinking is we have a 1 hour candle that looks really good. Let me change to the hourly. So going to the hourly chart, what do? We had a higher time frame schematic with all of this. Now this right here is would be classified as a spring, because it took out the lows. So we had a spring. And then now if we get back above this, we should be good to continue long. This was just a fake break of structure to run this out one more time. And then I think we're going to pull back into here and then continue up into here, then into here, and then really up into here. It's just easy to find these levels. So we should go like this, pull back, this, pull back, probably here, pull back, up here, pull back, up here, pull back. So I just want G-Chef to continue higher, to be honest. So that is what I'm looking for on that pair. Now continuing with Euro GBP, it's a bit conflicting, but to be honest with you, if this breaks, we're probably going to short off pretty strongly. I really wouldn't be surprised because this came into something within here, which came into something here. So I think shorting off is really kind of imminent. And I also believe that we will probably, I mean, probably pull up into here and at least this far into this candle because this is just a really higher time frame schematic. There are a couple ways to look at it. This is the way I look at it. And I'm not going to go through the labeling that's reserved for our members, but now if we just break this, I think that we're going to pull back and then just absolutely short off from here like this. Because we have so much inefficient price down here, it would make no sense to leave it behind, to be quite honest. So Euro GBP, I do think that we could short off, which actually would go along with our GBP chef buys. Now, continuing on to AUDJPY, did the same kind of thing as AU. It came into a level and just took off. So looking at the 3-minute, what are we doing? If we break this, like a solid break, we should be good. It came into the level pretty much to the T. We had this selling volume that it just traded into it here. So now, like I said, honestly, come tomorrow morning, if we are like here and trickling down, be looking for a lower time frame breaker structure and then take it long. So that is what I'm looking for on AUDJPY. USDJPY coming into a level within here. All these lows, 1, 2, 3, ran out. Now, if we break above this tomorrow morning, we should be good to continue long, in my opinion, because this is just counter trend structured and we are in a 4-hour level. Not really the last point of return because we have so much room to the downside, but it is a structure point. So it would make sense for price to maintain it if it is going to just continue its run to the upside. So if we break this tomorrow, I'll look for a pullback to take it long. GBP NZD. Now this took out 2 lows pretty significant. So this low and this low. It swept them out by just a couple pips and then flew. However, we are in an overall downtrend, so it would make more sense to continue short, at least. And when I say overall, it's relative. So for how I trade, we're in a downtrend. But if you look at this, like the higher time frames, you're kind of trending up right now, right? You could pull all the way back into here and still be trending up. But for what I like to trade, like I honestly trade like the 1 minute for some of my entries. So to me, we're trending down, right? This is just a really clear downtrend. Like this. And then this would just be an overall pullback to go deeper into here, which is probably what's going to happen because this is just enticing people to go long. So this schematic down here could hold if we come down before we reach these levels. But if we reach these levels, especially if we reach like this candle here, if we reach this and then start pushing down, we're not going to react off of the schematic I have down here. So really what it looks like it's doing is it's just going to come up into here first. So if it comes into here or here, I'm going to look for lower time frame confirmations like this, short off, and then if it decides to come higher, short off. So that's what I'm looking for on GBP NZD. Doesn't mean it's going to happen. A lot of it has to do with the time of day. That's really important for me. So I will see where we're at during New York session. Euro AUD actually had this marked up. It's doing what I expected. So I had this this marked up here because this is the 50% of this right here. So it came into it a little more, well, it came into a little more than 50% of this up move, but it basically traded into that and then kind of fell, and it is maintaining structure right now. I think that we are in an area where it would make sense for price to reverse, but I think that it's going to run all of these one more time. So I think that if we do get an eventual push up, it's probably not going to happen until we come back below this. The way you can see is that we're just making structure like that. And I think we could come back one more time, come lower one more time. But currently it is respecting the open of this candle here. Now moving on to GBP AUD, kind of the same story as GBP NZD in the sense that we are at an area where it would make sense for price to come down, but at the same time we have this really, really clear schematic here. Now the thing with this one though is that, so we are clearly trending upwards on the medium to higher time frames, right? However, the deal is that we're trending down, just like on GBP NZD, we're trending down on like the 30-minute and hourly. So we're coming into a level now where it is starting to distribute in price. But if it reacts, I expect it completely to react off of this because this is a completed schematic. Everything is here. Everything is, I mean, this is just really easy to see. I'm not going to label it for you guys, but like go over the labeling, but you can see that we came down, broke structure, now we're all the way up here. What we're kind of doing is we're just forming a relatively clear schematic, and I would not be surprised if it just shorted off. So I think on the 5-minute it's clear. So it could short off through the night down into here. I don't know. I'm not going to trade it. I don't trade Asian session personally, but I think that we're going to come back down here and then at least react. But if it decides to push higher, it's probably going to come into this right here or the blue box that I have above this line that I'm drawing right now. So that is what I am looking for on GBP AUD. Euro NZD, I think it's going to come into here because what it did is it came into this. If you look at this, draw a trend line like here, respect, take it out, come into it again, break structure here, pull back, break this higher time frame structure, pull back, at least into here and then up into here. But it honestly could come up into these equal highs all the way up here. So I'm looking at that on Euro NZD, now NZD CAD. Really, there's not much. I don't think that I need to cover that. NZD USD looks really, really good. So if I go to the 5-minute, we clearly distributed in price. It was just almost painfully obvious. So what we did is we had our buying climax, and then we had a secondary test, and then we had an up thrust. Then after that up thrust, this could really be labeled as a U-tab, but it's not really a U-tab. I'm just looking at this level in here because we ran out this high right here. This is prior to New York, then we just shorted off. So I think we're going to pull back up into here and then continue down. 1 hour, 1 hour candle right here. Fill this right here. So now we're just following the price action. Fill this candle, right? Makes sense. Fill this candle. So that's what I'm looking for on NZD USD. Now GBP JPY, this is just clear as day. Came into a daily candle actually. So I think this thing is going to fly because this is the candle that we came into right here. Came into that, took a lot of lows when we did it. This is such a layup. I'm going to be extremely surprised if this does not pan out. So we are looking to buy this down here where my cursor is. I don't need to cover that anymore. That is such a layup trade. Euro CAD, bit of a tricky spot, but if it respects here and breaks structure, it's going to continue up into this level and then short off. I think that it is going to go short, to be quite honest with you guys. But if it respects here, breaks structure, you can take it long into this level and then short it off down into this is just a general point of interest in the market, to be quite honest. So you could take it all the way down here. So that's what we are looking at. I hope you guys enjoy this video. I hope it's helpful. If you guys have any questions, do not hesitate to message us on Telegram. Sorry for this being a little late. I was having some difficulties, but anyway, I hope you guys all liked it. And again, have a great trading week. Do not hesitate to message us if you have any questions. Bye, guys.